the Tusk Lina pressure lane does very well in the early stages, they could definitely look to team fight. But if that doesn't go well for them, they can just split push with the Lycan and the Storm. Like, they have so many spells that clear out very fast. They can defend towers and they can split the map. And Na'Vi, they'll be most likely looking to just group up as 5, avoid getting picked up by the Storm, and just push your towers.
Yeah, what Xiaowei just identified is Na'Vi, with the first 4 picks, Na'Vi want to cluster up and team fight in one place. We're going to prevent them from doing that by constantly having Lycan split pushing another lane, so they never get to gather up, and they will always have to have someone in defense.
All right, well, let's find out who can pull their strat off a little bit better between Na'Vi and LGD in their game number 2.
Storm is going for that Soul Ring rush, so it will be Sylar going mid against the Queen of Pain.
All right, with that, welcome in everybody who's watching on the various live streaming platforms. I'm LD, I'm joined here by Gods and Wepis. It's time for Na'Vi versus LGD, game number 2. LGD with a win here, they will ensure that at the very least they're tied with Secret for first in Group A, going down the stretch. Guaranteed top 2 at this point, it seems, with this additional point, or all but guaranteed, as long as they continue to get at least a tie in the next series. And they look good. They took care of Na'Vi in game 1. Completely different draft from both teams, though. Na'Vi, they got 5v5'd a lot last game, and, well, the response is gigantic team fight. They get a support Shaker, the off-lane Darkseer, and we've seen this Disruptor, Darkseer, Gyro trio before. Can be devastating, but they need their levels. They need time to come online, and it's LGD who makes things up. They bust out the Storm Spirit as well as the Lycanthrope. 2 heroes that we haven't seen out of them that much, especially the Lycan. Used to be a go-to, a staple for LGD gods, but as of late, hasn't really been a hero they favor very much.
Yeah, and it won't be an easy matchup against the Queen of Pain. I imagine the support, probably in the form of the Dazzle, will be spending some time mid kind of babysitting him, maybe throwing poison touches towards the Queen of Pain, giving some Shadow Wave heals as Sylar needs it. But for now, it will just be Xiaowei body blocking the mid wave and trying to make sure Sylar has any edge he can get against Dendy's Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the Lycan mid does get early levels if he's left alone. Like you said, Xiaowei will be here early for a bit of harassment. Already throwing out the Slave, and with the Howl damage coming out, this is going to put Dendy into a defensive posture. Not really much the Shaker can do to assist here, unless that Lina gets caught out of position. Just going to be there in case they really get active.
Yeah, and just the Lina being there gets Sylar the first 2 denies as well as the first 2 last hits, so that's already like a mini victory for LGD, and that's the purpose of having this pseudo dual lane mid.
And once you get your early levels on a Lycan, with the Quelling Blade as well, 71 damage here, plus you've got the additional bonus damage from the Quelling Blade, and that's when the Howl is gone. When the Howl's up, he's going to be nearly impossible to outlast hit for Dendy, unless he can zone him out. So you can see where this could be a tough lane for a lane dominator like a Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the Radiant offlane Yao on the Tusk is going to have his work cut out against a Gyro Disrupt. Have to be very cautious against the Glimpse here. Otherwise, there's a lot of kill potential coming out from Na'Vi up top.
They have the Glimpse, like you said.
They got the D ward mid, by the way. A Radiant Sentry ward spotted. Well, spots the Observer ward, which was freshly planted by the Earthshaker in the mid lane.
That's big. Keeps him a little bit more in the dark as he rotates towards the top side of the map. You can see both teams have their offlane wards still going and giving good vision of support rotations. No poles blocked off, though, at least not initially. So all those creeps do spawn. And as you can see, although we haven't seen the Sylar Lycan at all at TI, it is a staple for him. He used to play this hero, it felt like, almost every game. Lycan has received quite a few changes. Other heroes have really risen to prominence, but God, I still have terrifying flashbacks to the age of Lycan first pick, 58%, 60% win rate every game. Didn't matter where you could jungle from level 1 and people would come for you and you just kill them with the wolves.
I think it was when like Secret were first formed and Arteezy would just play Lycan like 20 games in a row or something, and it was even back on EG when he was playing Lycan constantly as well. It was
at one point it was so bad with the old wolves because your level 1 jungle was really strong that at level 1, the enemy supports would come in with a pack of observers and sentries, and they'd block 4 camps. But mid lane, Sylar, no jungle for you, sir. The chase is on. Dendy already low here. They try to finish him off with the wolves, so keeps him alive.
Dendy!
And they turn on Dendy, the tower shot. He's going to self up, but they can munch him down. One more auto attack. He's dead. Dendy, please. Oh, what a disaster for Na'Vi. Good wolf micro there. Na'Vi really thought they had him. I actually thought he was going to turn the wolves on him sooner. I was wondering why he didn't, but it seems that's why he baits Dendy in further, and then when Dendy blinks, Then he 6'd the Wolves on him, and Dendy's already committed. He couldn't back at that point. Huge play by Sylar in the mid lane, and it's normally the opposite. You see that shaker rotation. If that's a squishier mid, something like a Leshrac, you get that first blood. But this is Lycan, a very tanky hero.
That's a huge pickup to have on Lycan. The first blood gets him boots and bottle. Dandy, meanwhile, just seeing on... does he go bottle? He's just seeing... I was about to say, he's gone for the boots before the bottle even. And you kind of need it a little bit to outrun the wolves. You need what move speed you can get, because those wolves really hit hard. They're squishy as little kittens, but they hit hard.
And this is the nice thing about the Lycan mid, is you can quickly rotate into the jungle, still giving How to your team. And you don't really have to sit around and wait for the waves. In a lot of ways, like a Shadow Fiend mid. He doesn't clear a huge stack the same way, but can always find that little bit of extra farm. Underrated, I would say, for this position. And he's going to hit level 6 quickly with that kill.
Yeah.
Once he gets the ultimate, good luck catching him. But I like what Funnick's doing here, Gods. He's gotten into the LGD jungle. He's farming the stacks that have already been formed, and they really don't want to be giving this up. But he's got an Invisor, and they can't see him. I don't think there's any detection in the
Radiant
neighborhood.
Sentry's already there.
Oh, no, they have one. They're going to make their go on Funnick. He can back up, but he really wants to be an experience rage for this. Oh, he won't have a chance. I think he was out of it there, so
and most
maybe
of
gets a lot of gold.
Yeah, most of the last hits went the way of LGD. Darkseid didn't get too much out of it.
It is still space created, though, for the rest of Na'Vi. It's 5 heroes you rotate in. They even abandon the bottom lane. Now Yao and Xiao journeying back. And where do they want to go here? Swinging up the ramp towards the north. They get an Observer Ward, clearing the high ground. And now Snowball in on the Dendy. Does he have to blink back? Yes, sir. And he will retreat. So the smoke ends up being a bit of a waste. Good defensive play there by Na'Vi, who also are stacking their own jungle. Can already see that that's why they're B for... Well, actually, they've got 3 heroes they can use the stacks. Dendy, the Darkseer for Funnick, or even that Havost Gyrocopter.
See which way it goes. And maybe they just look for that super farm Gyrocopter. We'll have to see what they have in mind. But hard to get in the Queen of Pain there. It's one of those things where you're hoping that he just doesn't react to the snowball. And if that clips him, Lena's done and it is a kill. But Dendy about to hit level 6, and now the kill potential from his side amps up, and that's something LGD going to have to be careful of this time around.
Uh-oh. It's again LGD on the offensive. Double Sentry Wards planted by the Dire side. Uh-oh.
They were both planted by Sneeko.
Bit of a miscue there. Yeah. He might break the smoke, though. He's in good position, but already balling up his maybe. Drops the Remnant, and, well, the shards are going to block the other retreat. Maybe with a poor jump there. Doesn't end up getting over the shards, but won't matter.
Looks like he smokes mid just because Sylar was planning on rotating off the lane anyways. I was about to say, Storm rotating in like this is not the most efficient
they're
thing.
Farming the stack. They're stealing these Dire neutrals. It's stack wars.
Value.
We saw this from Secret. They did it to LGD in Game 1, and it's now going to be LGD taking it to Na'Vi in Game 2. This old dog learning some new tricks here, Gods, and that is a big spike of gold. Not only what LGD gets, but what Na'Vi won't.
LGD are just really good in the lane stage right now at spreading their resources. Sometimes they struggle and fall behind in the early game, but this time around they've got Lycan in the jungle. Dazzle takes over the bottom lane to get farm and XP. Lena as a support's getting XP in the mid lane. They're just spreading the wealth, something which sometimes they kind of don't really do, but this makes their mid game just a little bit scarier when they start grouping up as 5 around that kind of 10 to 20 minute stage of the game.
It's true. I think if you look at LGD, and you mentioned Secret, but even comparing them to a lot of teams, their supports don't tend to get much farm priority. Even Yao in the offlane often not given much. MMY a little bit, but you compare the level of farm he's going to get to, say, what Kuroki does, and it's usually not a whole lot. But this time around, hey, if you can take the enemy resources, you're accomplishing both goals. You're not only getting your own farm, but you're slowing down Na'Vi. LGD, back to the woods for Sylar. What do you expect from him? Is it just going to be that standard Vlad's build-up, a lot of jungle time? Do we see any early tower pressure? What's the game plan for the Lycan pick here, Gods?
The real question is normally like whether you go for the Necro 3 or not. It's an item to me which it's hard to always justify picking it up. It seems like very hit or miss. If it works, you take a lot of towers, you snowball, you win the game fast. But when it's not working, it's a complete waste of 5k gold. So it's a bit safer to go for more of a BKB Deso or just a BKB AC type build. And I think more of a fighting Lycan type build is the kind of safer way to build it.
It's interesting because it used to be that Necro 1 and 2 were much worse, but the item was built every game. But nowadays, with towers being quite a bit different than they used to. We just don't see as much of that pushing style. Funnick trapped in the ice shards, nicely done by Yao. Doesn't have his ultimate yet, though, but they're going to bring in the Lycan. The Wolf Parade arrives, and Funnick is chewed up. Might not look like Little Red Riding Hood, but he sure dies like one. And while that was happening, Dendy does get on the board, finds a kill on Xiao Wei. That is some much-needed experience and gold going his way. He did not get what you look for out of the Queen of Pain out of the mid lane.
Yeah, there's a Sonic Wave to kill the support laner there, so worthwhile when you're behind like this, but it does give LGD a 2-minute window where, okay, there's no Sonic Wave. If we want to pressure some towers, we know that the Na'Vi defense is not going to be as strong. Even the wall was used, so this is a pretty big window. 1 minute without the wall and about a minute and a half now without the Sonic Wave. They can really pressure some towers if they want to, but at the same time, they haven't really got a lineup geared for doing so just yet. They haven't completed the Vlads yet on Sylar. Storm's still working on really even looking at treads at the moment, so we're still very early on, and LGD don't normally look to take objectives until they kind of reach some more core levels and core items.
And still a very even game here at 9 minutes. Score 3-1. It looked like LGD was starting to cobble together a bit of a lead, but with that kill and just good farm, spread more evenly across the Na'Vi heroes, it evens out, and we'll have to see when the first big moves come out here. Na'Vi, as we talked about, just a disgusting team fight, really. Like, fighting 5v5 into that is ever so difficult, but not quite there yet. Looking for a lot of their level 6s. The Queen of Pain all way down. Shaker not there yet. Disruptor not there yet. They're happy to have this personal time to just get their levels and get ready for those big climactic team fights.
Talking about how LGD were giving some space for the supports, Na'Vi have gone one step ahead with Soniku. He's already up to 1,300 gold on Earthshaker. He's completely taken over the safe lane.
Well, LGD want to punish that. Xiao 8 moving in. They have a smoke going. It's maybe Enyao. But they are going to walk into 3 heroes, and Havost will be one of them. Not the easiest takedown unless they get the snowball pull combo, and they get both. And both Walrus Punch. No chance for him. The Fisher even came out.